So, The Wizard's Reign is a fantasy board game in which each character has a reason for wanting to defeat a powerful and tyrannical wizard that has taken over the kingdom. There are 8 different characters. Each player starts off with 8 tokens. What tokens they have is determined by the character they have. There are 4 types of tokens: silvers, which can be used to purchase health and strength tokens; health tokens, which determine the health of the character; strength tokens, which determine the strength of the character; corruption tokens, these are what make up the wizard's strength. He has 10. When players engage in the final battle using battle cards, their goal is to decrease the wizard's tokens to 0 in order to defeat him. If they run out of health and strength tokens, they lose their battle and they must move to the nearest portal tile in order to try again. So, The Wizard's Reign, it has elements of both niche and mass market games. When it comes to mass market games, it has elements of both strategy games and adventure and fantasy games. The elements of the game that include strategy is that players must focus on collecting health and strength tokens in preparation for the final battle, and are given opportunities to form alliances to better their chances, as well as opportunities to break these alliances, steal their partner's tokens, and improve their own odds. The elements of the game that include adventure and fantasy are the setting and characters, and players are given a unique character to play as they all come from this fantasy world and each have their own reason for wanting to defeat the wizard. The setting, the Kingdom of Asteria, is a place that the players travel through and learn about as they play the game. When it comes to niche games, the Wizard's Reign has elements of role-playing board games, as each player is a different character that travels through the kingdom in order to defeat the wizard. If I had to put the Wizard's Reign in one of these genres, I think a role-playing board game describes it best. The segment of the industry that the game is designed for is those who are interested in playing games that include strategy, adventure and fantasy, and role-playing board games. Theme. So the central theme of the Wizard's Reign would be adventure. Players are exploring this new world, understanding more about it, and working to achieve a goal. While adventure is the main theme of the game, it also encompasses other themes such as strategy and competition. While each character shares a similar goal, which is wanting to defeat the wizard, the first player to do so wins, and players must strategize throughout the game play in order to achieve this. These themes help to immerse the players into the world of the Wizard's Reign, as it gives them a character and a goal they can identify with, and an opportunity to find the best way to achieve that goal. So the setting of the Wizard's Reign is a fantasy setting. The game is set in the Kingdom of Asteria, which has been taken over by a powerful tyrannical wizard who has turned the once normal and happy kingdom into a place of pain and hardship. Each player is a character who wishes to end the wizard's reign and is so bent on revenge that they wish to be the only one to do so unless they're in an alliance, but the game offers plenty of opportunities for betrayals to occur, in which players can steal the tokens of their partner and better their own odds of defeating the wizard themselves. The setting of the wizard's reign is seen throughout the board, and the character designs, which in accordance with the subject outline, were images generated with AI. Elements and characteristics of the setting can also be found in event cards, relationship cards, and other aspects of the game. So there are a few key game mechanics present in the Wizard's Reign. They are action, dice rolling, push your luck, role playing, and storytelling. These mechanics are present in the game as each player plays as a different character and has a turn. Dice rolling is present in this game as the reason in the fiction of the Wizard's Reign is that the wizard has magical power and control over the kingdom, causing the land to be unstable and unpredictable. The rolling of the dice incorporates the unpredictable element, meaning the character and the player have no idea where they will end up on the board when they have a turn. Depending on what tile they land on, they'll experience a different event or choice that will cause them to lose or gain items and create alliances or experience betrayals. The goal is to gain health and strength tokens along their journey in order to face off against the final battle against the wizard. So the core game loop starts when a player rolls the dice. This leaves the player's place on the board up to chance, as the land in the kingdom is unstable due to the wizard's power. Then the player lands on a tile. The player can land on either an event tile, a relationship tile, a memory shard, a dual zone, a portal tile, or a market tile, which is a river market or forest trade tile. And then the player experiences an event on that tile. So the event that a player experiences on a tile is determined by what they land on, and these are the possibilities. So they could land on an event card, and when the player lands on this, they must draw an event card, which and make a decision based on that event that may lead them to gain all those tokens. There's a relationship card, and the player must draw a relationship card, which may let them form an alliance, break an existing one, or mess with other players' alliances, depending on the card. A memory shard, so a player must draw a memory shard card when they land on this tile. which reveals the detail about the wizard's backstory. If they collect 3 memory shard cards, they can trade the information in for 5 silvers. Then there's a dual zone. In a dual zone, so a dual zone is a particularly unpredictable piece of terrain, which means that only one player can stand on it at a time. If 2 players are both on it, they must roll, and whoever gets the highest number gets to stay, and whoever rolls the lowest must go back a tile. Then there's market tiles. Market tiles allow players to gather new tokens through buying or trading them. If on a river market tile, a player can use silvers to buy more health and strength tokens, and if on a forest trade tile, players can trade different tokens for one another. Then there's portal tiles, which give the player an option to progress to the nearest portal tile if they choose to do so, and this is also where players go if they lose the battle against the wizard. And then the next player goes, and the cycle repeats. Until a player successfully defeats the wizard and wins the game. So the world building of the Wizard's Reign is central to the game. As mentioned before, the Kingdom of Asteria has been taken over by the wizard, and each player has a reason for wanting to defeat the wizard. The world is a fictional fantasy one with medieval elements. There are different locations in the game which determine what the there are different locations in the game which determine what the player experiences. Each player works to collect health, strength, and silvers in different locations, which will help them in their eventual battle against the wizard. In Asteria, players are faced with options that determine how successful they will be in their journey. Then we've got the 3-act structure. So in Act 1, players are given a character and learn their story. Players are given the same amount of tokens, but which tokens they have depend on their character. And then players start the game. In Act 2, players journey through the kingdom as they move across the board, experiencing events, gathering or losing tokens, and creating or breaking alliances and preparing to fight the wizard. And then in Act 3, players reach the end and attempt to battle the wizard. They either succeed or fail, and the first player to defeat the wizard wins the game.